he gave us a pathway, and it's hard. The pathway he gives you is hard. I'm a living example. At least I can speak for myself, but it was very hard for me to come to the kingdom, to be a part of the kingdom. He says, seek first his kingdom and his righteousness. And I had to give up a lot. Matter of fact, go up. I'm going to show you what you have to give up to be in Yah's family, right? It's not like what Christianity say, oh, you come here, it's going to be all good and stuff. He says, you're going to have to forsake all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find this here. Hold on here. Go to Luke.
Luke, okay.
Yeah.
Luke what?
Go to Luke 14:26. Luke 14:26. And so I'm looking at how Yah deals with us. So I always go there because I'm a father too. And now I'm experiencing things that Yah has already experienced. And now I can go to a perfect example. If you want a perfect example on how to relate to your children in certain dynamics, go to the book. Mm-hmm. Yeshua is literally going to show. So I'm going to show you right here what he says here in verse 20. We can start at 25. Read.
And there went great multitude with him, and he turned and said unto them, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
Okay, stop. So guys, he says it right there. If any man, right? If any man come to me and hate not his father, his mother, and you see all these are all close relationship that we have with people. You cannot be his disciples. What does that hate mean? It doesn't mean, oh, hate them. He said, there's a saying, and I don't know exactly where it is in here, but he says you can't serve two masters. Either you're going to love one and hate the other.
Right. And when you look behind that word hate is love less, right?
Yeah, love less. It just means that it doesn't mean I don't love my father. I love my father, but if I had to choose between my father and ways in Yah's way, I'm going to choose Yah's way.
Who are you going to love more?
Exactly. Yeah. Jesus was in that situation. I mean, he went to go to the temple, and he was, I think, I don't know exactly where Jesus was at the time, so don't quote me on that. But the point is, people were saying, Jesus, your mother, your brother, you're sitting there outside, they're calling for you. Absolutely. And Jesus says, whoever does the will of my father is my mother, my brother, and my sister. So he put
the father,
his father's will over every relationship.
Facts.
And so Yeshua came down here to be an example, to show us what that looks like, right? He says to have a relationship with him, you have to be willing to hate this. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to hate all these people to have a relationship with him. And this is how Yah tests us to know if we love him or not. This is how we know. And guys, to go through that process is a humbling state. Man, I can tell you right now, I'm a big man, 270 something pounds, 80 pounds, play ball. And I'm telling you, I was crying like a baby when I became a disciple of Yeshua. I truly became a disciple of Yeshua. I thought I did when I did it in Christianity, but I truly became his disciple when he tested me. Mm-hmm. And part of that was losing my wife, losing my children, all 8 of them. I really knew 7, but I never met my 8th one. Losing the opportunity to even see my 8th baby, my 7th son at the time, but my 8th baby. I've never missed one single delivery. Now I have one under my belt. I have one I've never met, and all I had to do is forsake Yeshua. All I had to do is stop keeping the commandments of the Most High Yah. If I would have stopped keeping the Shabbat, maybe I don't put any faith in that, but maybe I would have saw my family. But I chose to follow Yeshua.
Yeah, Joseph in the back there.
Oh yeah, hey, Joseph. So I chose to follow Yeshua.
Hallelujah. Yeah.
You see my son back there?
Yeah,
yeah, man. Anyway, so why did I say all this stuff? So guys, as a father, and if you guys have come into this truth, because I know a lot of you guys email me, you hit me up on YouTube, you hit me up through the emails or whatever ways you guys know how to get a hold of me, and you guys are in these predicaments. And so I want to show you biblically how you can restore your children in a biblical way, in a righteous way. And the reason why I'm motivated to do it this way, because I've seen how the world does it. When the world does it, it sets the children to be rejected by the Most High Yah. Now, they may have a relationship with their children, but now the children can't have a relationship with the Most High Yah because he doesn't operate the way the man has it. So just because I lowered the standard, so like, for example, I'll give you an example, like with the head covering, right? It says that go to 1 Corinthians 11.
Yes, Elder.
Go to 1 Corinthians 11, chapter 2. Chapter 11, verse 2. Sorry. I want to show you something here. So I'm a husband, right? And I remember this specific question. I am a husband, right? And I hear husbands doing this even in Israel. In Israel, I've heard husbands talk this way, right? So it says, now I praise thee. Read that.
Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember in all things and keep the ordinances, as I delivered them unto you.
Okay.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
Okay, the head of every man is Messiah. Read.
And the head of the woman is the man.
So the woman head is the man. Obviously, it's going to be either a father in this case or a husband. Read.
And the head of Christ is Elohim.
Okay. So even Yeshua has a head, which is his father. Read.
Every man praying or prophesying having his head covered dishonoreth his head.
Okay, listen. So if I have my head covered and I pray, the book says that I am dishonoring my head. Is that what it says on there? If I'm praying or prophesying and I have my head covered, it says I'm dishonoring my head. Deacon, do you want to dishonor your head?
Never.
Who's your head?
Yeshua.
Yeshua. I don't want to dishonor. I love him. I would never want to dishonor him. So when I pray, I want to prophesy. The thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove anything that's on my head because I don't want to, because I know I represent him and I don't want to dishonor him. All right, let's keep reading. Verse 5.
But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head.
Right there. What does it say? So, but if a woman who prays or prophesies with her head uncovered, she dishonors her head. For that is what?
Even all one as if she were shorn or shaven.
She's shorn. So I remember my ex-wife at this time. This is what she said. She said, do you feel dishonored? Now, I'm just coming new into this stuff. I said, well, it doesn't matter how I feel. The book says that if you do this, you are dishonoring me. It doesn't matter how I feel. So I'm trying to connect, because now it would bother me. But at that very time, it didn't bother. And I could have said, well, it doesn't bother me. I could have lowered the standard. And said, yeah, it doesn't bother me. I mean, that's what Paul's saying, or that's what they did back then, or whatever excuse they had back then. I could have lowered the standard. But here's the problem. For me to lower the standard is to be walking in disobedience as a man.
Yeah.
So just because it doesn't bother me, the point is, Yah has a standard of how we need to do things. Because I am, and when you keep reading, it says, because keep reading. I'm going to show you why. See, people think like, well, since it doesn't bother me, it's okay for me to lower the standard. Honey, you don't have to. You can preach, you can pray without your head uncovered because it doesn't bother me. Well, it's not about what it bothers me. It was, how about Yah?
Exactly.
Does that make sense? If you guys
sense.
are following me and this makes sense, please give me a 7. Everybody give me a 7 if you guys are following me on this. If this makes sense. I don't want to be going over your head because I may be going and you may miss it. So you gotta be like give me undivided attention here.
It reminds me of a proverb or a story, if you want to call it. There was a violin player, Elder. He made this great, show for everybody. He was in front of a lot of people, and everybody was clapping. Wow, it was amazing, right? He went back behind the curtain. He was sad, and someone asked him, "What's going on? Why are you sad?" It's like, "Well, my teacher, who was in the front row, is the only one who didn't clap."
Wow.
But everybody else encouraged him. But his teacher, he knew he messed up on something. And so what did that show? Is like, okay, everybody was pleased, but the one that needed the most approval was the one who taught him.
That's
You
it.
know, and so
See, he was performing for an audience of one.
one. Come on,
So, and that's how I look at life. It's not about making. I don't care about what everybody thinks. At the end of the day, I was created for Yah.
yeah.
The whole duty of man is to fear Yah and keep His commandments. And just this illustration that Deacon just gave is a perfect illustration on how each and every one of us needs to live our life. We need to live our life as if we living our life for the audience of one, and that's the Most High Yah.
Most High, yeah, exactly.
So look at this. So if I want to lower the standard of, hey, it doesn't bother me if you want to cover your head, but the point is there's a standard here. And so read what it says right here in verse 7. For
a man indeed ought not to cover.
Actually, read
So I'm
6.
gonna read 6 because that's
Yeah, just to get context.
For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered.
So it's not saying women cover your women just having long hair. No, that's not what it's saying.
Yeah.
It's literally saying that when you pray or prophesy, you need to cover your head. If you don't, it is shameful. It didn't say if your husband feels shame, it is shameful. So other people may see like, wow, that's your wife up there. Just like that video we saw where that guy, I think Pastor put on his YouTube,
Oh my
Facebook,
goodness.
where the woman's on stage. I'm talking about freaking with another man. And the husband came on the stage and told her to get off the stage. And the security came and escorted him off the stage. Then she came down to the where the audience were, and he told her, "What are you doing up there?" And then all of a sudden, security comes in to protect the wicked woman and kick the man out of the club or whatever the place concert they was in.
Whatever, yeah.
And then they're throwing things at him, throwing all types of stuff. And this is the husband. This woman, what she was doing, shameful.
His property.
His property. And people's looking like, hey, it shouldn't bother you. It's not a big deal. But that's his wife. That's his woman.
That's his right. Yeah.
So, but now I want to show you here what it says here. For man, what?
For a man indeed ought not to cover his head.
Okay, what? It says for indeed. So why shouldn't a man not cover his head? Please explain why.
For as much as he is the image and glory of Elohim.
Okay, okay, that's a game changer right there. See, now I feel shame. Now I understand that when she's doing that, that is an attack on the image of the glory of Yah. See, it's not about me. It's about him. So, yes, you're going to cover your head when you pray and prophesy because I represent the image and glory of Yah. And I'm not going to dishonor my head, and I'm not going to allow you to dishonor me because in the end, you're going to be dishonoring Yah. Are you seeing that?
That's good, Elder. Come on.
Keep reading. It says, for what? But
for the man is not of the woman.
No. Read that. But
the woman is the glory of the man.
See, the woman is the glory of the man. See, the woman is not creating the image, and this irritates Christianity. It eats them up. Women are not equal to man. Women are not creating the image and glory of Yah. They're creating the glory of man. They came out of man.
That's right. Yep.
So that's why a woman needs to cover, because there's a difference between a man and a woman. A man do not cover when he prays because he is the image and glory of Yah, and the woman must cover because she's the glory of man. So yes, you are going to cover, and I'm going to rule my house well. It doesn't matter how I feel. All I know is you're not going to dishonor Yah, not in my house. And as long as you're my woman, you're going to cover your head.
I think that's why that doctrine is so important, Elder, about the image of Yah, because if the woman would understand that, how much more reverence would she give the man?
I don't know. I don't know, Deacon. I don't know if it really matters to women sometimes.
I mean, maybe it doesn't, but it should. I mean,
it should. But you know something? I'll put it back on the men, because I think if men understood who they were, they wouldn't allow that.
Tell the story, Elder, about what happened when you were doing your teachings on Saturday, and that topic came up.
I remember I was doing this stuff with my children before I came into the truth, and we were using this book, this curriculum. That's what it was. It was a curriculum from
Genesis.
Answering Genesis. There's a ministry called Answering Genesis. They're the one that built the Ark Encounter in Kentucky, a big ark. They have a museum called the Creation Museum. Anyway, I bought their 3-year curriculum. And anyway, in the book, because you're using the Bible, but they're referencing the Bible, but Christianity, but I'm just telling you the story. So anyway, in there, I always pre-read what I was going to teach my children. So we used to do a 3 or 4 hour Bible study. So I was kind of in a way keeping the Sabbath, not as proper, not like me, because I bought donuts and things of that nature, but we were keeping the Shabbat. I mean,
we're keeping it, just not keeping it holy.
Yeah, it wasn't keeping it holy, not as far, but I was trying to do that. So anyway, there was something in there in the reading that was talking about the Bible, and it mentions something that men and women are both creating the image of God. And I knew that my wife at the time had an issue with that, and I brought her aside, said, "Hey, I know you have your opinion on this stuff, but follow my lead. We're sticking to the book, okay? This is not the time to have this discussion in front of the children." And so anyway, we went in there, and what I would do is when my children would see something that I always would usually say, "Hey guys, you guys missed something," filter everything through the word. So just because some book is before you, even the Bible itself, don't just take it, go look behind the words. Always filter and making sure that we know that it's the truth. So in here, the book says men and women are both creating the image of God. And I said, guys, that's an error. These people are wrong. And so then we go back to the book, and then that's when my ex-wife at the time just wanted to use that opportunity to see, look, at even the children can see it. In front of the children. Shame, speaking. See, she remained silent, but instead she spoke up and caused confusion. That Bible study came to an end, the screeching halt.
She uncovered herself. Dishonored.
But in Christianity, it is perfectly fine for a woman to dishonor her husband in front of their children. It's perfectly fine for a woman to be dishonorable in Christianity. Yeah. Why? Because Christianity is a matriarch religion. There's nothing biblical about Christianity. I am not a Christian. I was once professing Christian, but I am not a Christian. I am a follower of Yeshua HaMashiach.
Hallelujah.